Hello friends, myself Shriram. Now we will try to solve a very interesting problem. Here you can see that I have given a string. Say the name is like first name Akash, then middle name Ramesh, then Krishnan, and then say probably the name of village, because some people do put the name of village. So the point here is like it's a pretty big string. Now I want to develop a code which will basically put an initial, like that means the output should be something like A, then there should be a full stop, then it should be like R, then it should be like K, and then dot whatever the last name is. So that some name should come. So this is the way typically we want the output should come. That means what we want is basically initials and last name, full name we want. Okay, so that's what I have told you here. So something like this should come the way in which we have basically this name. So obviously you can take this as an input from user. Right now I have not done it. The reason is because I don't want to basically just keep on doing getters and then trying to handle that. Okay, so right now I am just providing the input as it is. Okay, so now the way in which we should be doing it is, so let's try to understand this issue and then try to solve it. So here you can see there is a space here, there is a space here, and then there is a space here. That means if I can count the number of spaces, then I know that how many full stops I need to put. That means I will have to do A dot, R dot, K dot. That means 3 full stops I need to put. So that is the first that is the first one, or the first portion I will say that we should do. Then basically we should be actually printing that. So for that what we should do is, we basically are going to anyway get the first character, then we move forward till you get the next character. Okay, and obviously when you move to the next character, we need to modify the appropriate value of loop, that is the I variable that we will use to increment. So that way we will keep on doing that, and then when we do that, then essentially we are going to do this with respect to the count. Why? Because count is now very important. Here there are 3 spaces, so that will help us to do that. Okay, and then essentially whatever remains, so that portion we will print. So let's see this in action now. That means three portions or 3 steps we need to do. I know that it's not possible to just understand it like this. So when I write the code, probably it will become little more clear. Okay. So now I will have a temporary variable called as C, and I will initialize it to count. Okay, and then I will use a variable I for the loop. So here I will use this count. So this count is basically for spaces, counting the spaces. I will just put it here, counting the space. So how do I do that? So obviously I will have to write a loop here. So I will start with I is equal to 0, and then I can write a simple loop here, and then I can use str of I, because we know that it ends with \0. So we can simply use str of I, and then in this I will just find how many spaces are there. Okay, so just let me put it here. So this is the space. I have given a space here, and then as long as it is there, I will increment the count. Okay, so when you find a space, you basically are going to increment the count, and then as the part of the while loop, you basically are supposed to increment I plus plus. So this will give us the number of spaces. So it should give 3. That means 0, 1, 2. That we started with 0. So you essentially will have spaces. Okay, so that is what will happen here. So this is that place. Okay, so here I will just say counting of spaces. We have done. Now once we have done this, then you basically will write another loop. So obviously we will use I variable. So let me just make it 0, and then we will have a loop on while count. Okay, and now we have to keep on decrementing count. Okay, so we will decrement the count. That is the basic loop. Okay, Now in that what we will do, first thing is we will print the character. Okay, now what we should print, percentage C dot. So that means dot we have to print. That's what I told you. So we will print this character and then the str of I. Why? Because I have initial s to 0. So the very first character I is equal to 0 is the first abbreviation, and that is what is correct. Okay, so we will do that. So it is going to print A. So once we are able to print the A, now what we need to do is, in this we need to go till R. That means we need to find a space and then after that we need to increment I. That is what I was telling. So let me just write a simple loop where we will just str of I, and here I will say it is not equal to space. Okay, so that means the moment you keep on incrementing the I till you are not that means you don't get a space. The moment you get a space, this loop will terminate. That means till that what you do, you simply increment the I, nothing more, nothing less you do. So the sooner it increments, then the sooner it increments, that means now you basically have done this, I plus plus will happen. Now what will happen when you get this space, so that particular time I will be here. So you need to take I here, that means you need to increment I, which obviously will be after the loop gets over, so that it is now positioned at Ramesh. Similarly it will be positioned at K. Similarly here it will be positioned at Karnool or whatever. Okay, so that's the way typically it will happen. So this particular loop or this particular thing is essentially out of this. Okay, so let me just put it here so that you know what I am doing, and then obviously we are decrementing the count. So this is the count. Okay, so once we are done, what will happen is it will print, it would have printed A dot, R dot and K dot. So that is what will happen. Now comes the last thing. Okay, so the last thing is now we need to print. So how do you do that? So first let's see this in action. Only this portion we will see it in action. You can see this ARK dot has come. That is what I was precisely telling you. ARK dot has come because of this code that we have written. So we counted the spaces, and because of this percentage C dot, so essentially it printed A dot R dot K. That means Akash, Ramesh, Krishnan got K dot printed. Now we want this complete this one. So that is little tricky or interesting. So what we now do is we can either have a loop and from there you can just keep on doing percentage C and print it, or simply use percentage S. But however, when you want to do percentage S, you basically need to provide the string. So that's why I will use a simple pointer here. I would not have used a pointer, but I can use, that's not an issue. But otherwise I have to write a third while loop and keep on putting the character of whatever the remaining thing. So instead of that I will simply use a pointer. So I'll just say ptr is equal to, now I'll provide the address here, str of I. That means wherever that location at Karnool's K is there, because it didn't print this last one. So it is the I is there. Okay, so we just do that and then we use printf and then percentage S. You can always give backslash n, that's not as such required here, and then we can use ptr, and that's it. So let me run this code. Yeah, you can see the ark.karnool got printed, and that is what precisely we want. Now suppose if there is no Karnool, there was no Karnool and only the name was like Akash, Ramesh, Krishnan, then you can simply have this AR Krishnan. You could play with this, like some people have some difficult name or something like that. Okay, so let's say Yeda Patli Ramesh Krishnan Murugu, something like that is there. Okay, so here now basically obviously we have to give the first letter capital because normally we do that. So we will run this, and now you can get YR Krishnan Murugu. You could see that. So this is a very interesting problem. Here we essentially just use the normal syntax for the array. We could have used here, so it could be an homework for you. Instead of doing this pointer assignment, use while loop, and then using this while loop itself we can print character by character, and still the job will be done. So print character by character. Still you can do the character because you know that this string ends in \0. So you can always have some such a loop and then you can print it. Only thing you have to use print and character by character and increment I. So then you don't require this pointer to be used. But however, this is easy. So that's why I have used it. I hope you like this example. Thank you.